Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this is the part 2 video and blog helping us understand the challenge of our nodal return. And the title of this part 2 is, what is your nodal return? What's the nitty-gritty definition and detail? So the nodal return is the time when the nodes of the moon in the heavens return to the position they occupy in your natal chart, indeed at the moment you were born. It's a deep, deep, deep journey, is your nodal return, a journey of experiencing, trying to understand, overcoming and becoming. It's a deep journey that you're unavoidably forced into having. The South Node is essentially about our past and our past lives. That's Ketu, the South Node. And it also embodies our ancestral wounds, the karmas we bring into this life. Rahu, the North Node, however, is essentially about the life direction we are thrown towards in this life, a fate and destiny direction and life path, bringing us out of our past life events and karmas and ancestral wounds. We, each of us, arrive when we're born where Ketu, the South Node, is, with that bundle of accumulated karma, a selection from our total accumulated karma. And we're each of us thrown across our charts in a life journey towards our North Node, Rahu. The North Node's always opposite Ketu, the South Node. And in this post, I essentially want to let you know what the experience of going through your nodal return is like. Do also see my part 1 video, which very validly links it to the deeper and deeper dimension of the Fool's journey in the tarot. But this part 2 post gives you the answer in a more nitty-gritty facts and figures detail. The part 3 post tells how to astrologically interpret your nodal return. The part 4 post tells about understanding the nodal return when the nodes are in the Libra-Aries axis, being activated at the time of filming because they're in the final mopping up phase. On October the 30th, 2023, the nodes change axis, retrograding, as they always do, into the Virgo-Pisces axis. So a whole new bunch of people are beginning to experience their nodal return as the Libra-Aries gang are trying to get the very best out of their beginning to end nodal return. Okay, this is post 2. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty detail of what is the nodal return. As I said, your nodal return is when the nodes of the moon in the heavens transit across the position of the nodes of the moon in your birth chart. And indeed, they return therefore to the same position the nodes of the moon occupied at the moment you were born. Now, our nodal return is a big, deep, deep 18-month weird experience of death and rebirth and redefinition of ourself and redefinition of our life path. It's a huge journey that we enter pretty blindfold that occurs every 8.5 years in our life. And the crucial point to note is that the nodal return does not just end once the transiting nodes leave the sign occupied by your natal nodes. Definitely not. No matter how well each of us handles our nodal return, its energy, its task, and its consequences are with us for many years ongoing. indeed right up to the remainder of the 18-year cycle, up to the next nodal return. And it's so important to realise that your nodal return will activate your karmas and past life issues, your issues from earlier in this life, and your ancestral issues, including ancestral curses. So let's look at the nodes of the moon in more detail. Ketu, the south node. Well, Ketu, the south node, is the embodiment of our individual and personal past life karmas. It holds the issues of your past from this life too. And it gets embodied into our DNA, as it were. Ketu most definitely includes the Akashic record. It's the residue of our past lives. And the important thing to understand is that Ketu's energy is cutting. Ketu South Node is usually associated with the experience of fear, often waking up early each morning feeling fear. Where the nodes of the moon occur in your birth chart is a deep and unavoidable statement telling of your destiny and life purpose in this incarnation, where Ketu represents your past life, your karmic bad deeds, but also, of course, your karmic good deeds. And as I said, from Ketu, from that start in life, each of us is thrown across our chart to where Rahu North Node is, always opposite. So Ketu, the South Node, provides you with a statement of the karmas and scripts you specifically came in with to work with in this life. Ketu is the unfinished business and the things we got wrong in our past life. We have to experience those things again in this life, with the crucial goal of achieving perception, healing and growth. Indeed, we'll have to experience them again now so as to try and heal them this time, so as to get them right this time. This is a crucial matter of fate and destiny. And we absolutely also have to realise that sometimes we'll actually quite likely do the same wrong things again in this lifetime as we did in past life. This is with the purpose of making us realise how wrong they are. That's the divine purpose. We do them, we're experiencing them again, so as to get the chance to come and see that they are wrong, how they are wrong, why they are wrong, so as to grow, so as to develop better perception, so as to be able to burn those bad karmas in this life and finally end those scripts running through incarnation after incarnation with us. It's so crucial to realise that often what we get wrong, those are the things we're now called to get right in this life. And they're so very well defined by the sign that Ketu occupies in your birth chart and divisional charts. The nature of the planet that rules the sign that Ketu occupies, that is so important, as you'll be hearing when I talk about the Libra-Aries axis of the nodes. The house that Ketu occupies houses life areas, and the planets that conjunct Ketu in your birth chart. There's a saying in Vedic astrology that some of our fates and destinies are fixed, or drida. And if fixed, it means we absolutely have to go through them in this life, and indeed may have to go through them in many lives. But other of our fates and destinies are adrida. They're not fixed. We can potentially burn them and heal them this lifetime. Either way, we're here in this lifetime, as for each of our lifetimes, to deepen and clarify our perceptions and our spiritual understandings of our egoically based personality and of our life purpose. We're here to see so much better issues of good and bad in our egoic personality and improve it. We're here to go through all this so as to heal, so as to perfect ourselves spiritually. And of course, it's not only our bad karma from past lives that surface in this life. We absolutely also bring into this life our right karmas as well. The right karmas that we successfully got right in past lives. These are the gems from past lives that will aid us now in this life. Realise that, identify them. Study of our planets in our birth chart, in the divisional charts of Vedic astrology called the Varga charts. Study of our planets in the nakshatras they occupy, the supremely wonderful 27 sign lunar zodiac of Vedic astrology. Study of our planets in the signs and houses they occupy. All this study, which can be given to you in a reading, will reveal to us which are our gems from past life which will be aiding us now, but also which are the millstones around your neck from past life, from ancestral wounds, from earlier actions in this life. So do get a reading from me about this, and indeed go to my Love Star Dating website where there's a panel of astrologers and healers, including ancestral healers and past life readers. It's so necessary and worthwhile to go through these insights in order to fully understand the crossroads you're at the time of nodal return and fully become who you're meant to be and fully be on the right road for your destiny future. So we have to realise that this fraught Ketu experience in its fullest sense is waking up. At this Ketu time, you've got to realise, unfortunately, we can't wake up without trauma. There is psychological pain to go through. There can even be physical pain, including accident or illness. There can be a prolonged feeling of deeply debilitated in the realms of physical, psychological, social, financial and material issues. But if you can truly awaken to your Ketu potential, then you can change the expression that your destination Rahu energy will give you when you get there. Rahu can't change on his own. The achieved awareness of waking that can be gained from dealing with your Ketu material includes past life, ancestral issues, Akashic records material. These are what will give the most supreme expression and handling of your Rahu North Node material. So, what you can do with your Rahu destiny direction for this life depends actually on the vibration you bring to your Ketu and to your Ketu understanding as you go through the nodal return experience. Ketu, I feel, predominates the earlier half, indeed the earlier 2/3 or 3/4 of the nodal return time. Please realise this, it's crucial. Don't be passively fearful. Please be informed and creative and brave at this time. So having spoken about Ketu, let's go on to Rahu, the North Node. Rahu, the North Node's always opposite Ketu across your chart from Ketu South Node. Rahu, North Node, is the embodiment of your individual and personal future karmic life direction in this life, for this incarnation. Now, Rahu in its raw sense is driven ambition to identify and express your fate and destiny ambitions for this lifetime. We're each of us, in fact, thrown across our chart from where Ketu is to where Rahu is. And I say thrown because the energy of Rahu is so hugely driven, obsessional. You have to realise this and not give in to the obsession. We have to purify our Rahu if we're ever to get towards its true destination. But you see, if Rahu wasn't so driven, we'd never be thrown across our chart for the start of our nodal journey. We need that drive, but you mustn't give in to its driven nature. You have to purify it. We have to purify the energy of Rahu if we're ever to succeed getting to our destination in this life. So a few, astrological points as well that are useful. The nodes of the moon always transit retrograde in the heavens. This is the mean node definition using the Vedic sidereal zodiac, which gives the truest result. Astronomically, the nodes of the moon are the intersection point in the heavens of the apparent orbits of the sun and the moon about the earth. Very crucial to be aware of, the nodes of the moon are the eclipse axis. They have eclipse energy. Your nodal return is like inhabiting an eclipse. In the Vedic Indian tradition, the nodes of the moon are like the churning of the world ocean. After much debate, the gods came to the conclusion they indeed needed the help of the Astrologers, the demons, to churn the ocean of milk, the universe, so as to bring forth the Amrita as well as numerous other treasures. Now, the post-Jungian and Freudian, awareness of the unconscious and the shadow, that interpretation of this ancient myth points to the crucial truth that we won't succeed in our journey if we just use rationality and intelligence and formula. We must also involve what is buried in our shadow, in our unconscious, if we're ever to be able to fully rebirth ourselves, overcoming past life wounds, ancestral wounds, and properly, fully embracing our needed and destined future self. Chiron and Lilith can be so wonderful, in the interpretation of our shadow and unconscious. I bring that into the astrological mix. So as I said, your journey of going through your nodal return is very much like going through the Fool's journey in the tarot. And I explain all this in the part 1 video. Your nodal return is like you're walking through an eclipse. Your nodal return is like you're caught up in the vast churning of the milk ocean. And note that when your nodal return is happening, it will normally become the most crucial central peak issue in your life at that time. And that will be the case even if there are also other big, vast transits going on at the same time, such as Sade Sate, Saturn return, or Saturn transiting your 22nd Drekanov, etc. So absolutely realise that the karmic matter content of your nodal return is huge. It's the stuff of your being. It's the key issues in your unconscious and in your shadow. It's the key issue in your successfully realising your fate, your destiny. So the presentation and understanding of the nodes of the moon isn't for shorts, as they're called, or for ranted formula, nor will imposed formulaic mindset remedies help. It's actually your central life purpose unfolding. And so as such, although disorientating and painful, it's to be loved and honoured and embraced, even though it can feel pretty terrible at times. It's your fate and destiny acting. It first of all seeks to sort out huge residues from the past, from past lives, from ancestry. And then it's your fate and destiny compelling you to embrace the fullness of your karmic destiny, to walk as a hero your karmic right path forward now. And the way you'll best experience the physical and psychological and mental and spiritual development challenges of your nodal return is absolutely to be sincere, genuine and honest, not governed by imposed formula and certainly not ruined by denial. The experience will be deep, you must go deep. You must do your very best to ensure that the experience is truly healing, truly empowering. You must totally commit to the needed steps of solving wounds from past life, ancestral wounds, uncompleted business, and your errors in this and past lives. You must aim for realignment of your central incarnational purpose in this life. Develop and perceive it clearer and clearer. Become the beautiful fullness of you through all this. Commit to the crucially needed, correct and powerful psychological and spiritual healing of your past life and ancestral wounds and earlier wrongdoing. And then bring in the new journey to the needed new you, which I call in the part 1 video, the Fool's Journey, using that concept from the tarot. You've got to accept there's a powerful preparation and understanding development time you've got to go through for this immense task of healing yourself. And only then comes along the rebirth and the implementation of the next phase of your crucial central journey in this lifetime. Note, crucially, you might be unavoidably forced into a downtime period from your usual life.